Man, this war with Mr. 5 and Mr. 3 is really intense, man. This is some really good stuff.
I don't know.
Hey.
Tell him we come in peace.
We come in peace.
Yeah.
No, Blaze.
Oh, buddy, come on. Oh, are you okay?
Oh, that's not good.
Stay calm. Stay calm.
That's not good.
Okay, don't stay calm.
But let's add a few episodes of filler before we get to that. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for One Piece. This one's going to be doing my review for the second season of One Piece. Very exciting stuff here. We have entering into the Grand Line is the title for this season. So, I have just gone through season 2. I'm actually a decent way through season 3 right now as well too. Me and Overraised Gamer are going through it right now. We will be probably reviewing season 3 by at least next week, I will probably expect. And then we're actually going to be taking a break because we're going to transition and watch the live action. So that's just kind of a little heads up. We're going to watch season 3 of the anime, then we're going to do the live action, then we're going to return to the anime. So that's kind of the plan with that. But man, season 2 was really intense. I mean, it didn't start great. We're going to talk about that, but I felt like it got really good as the plot kind of, kept going. Now, I'm going to be one to say it, and this happens to pretty much any anime I've seen. There's a bit of filler this season. There's a bit of filler this season, and we'll talk about that. We'll kind of get that out of the way first, because I really do like this season, and I think it's really, really good still. There is a bit of a plot here kind of in between, a little bit kind of left off with season 1.
Not good.
Okay, don't stay calm.
That's a good one. Oh, you're being serious.
And I didn't really cover it because it wasn't all that important, but, it is here, and let's, kind of discuss a little bit of the filler, because obviously it is still at least worth mentioning. There's basically this whale attack that Luffy ends up controlling. There's this big whale that attacks them. They go to this island, basically, and there's, this, big fake, sky or whatever that they see with, this door. But it's all fake. It's all a trap, basically, stuff like this. And then there's this massive crocus or whatever, and it's this whale's undertaker and stuff like that. And then basically Luffy fights the whale again, and then they basically get out of there. So yes, it's filler for sure. There's not really much to it. It's kind of just there to be there. There's a few episodes of it. It's kind of just there, but it's definitely the weakest stuff of the show so far, without a doubt in my mind. Now let's get to the massive stuff here. So they reach their destination to the island. The Grand Line, obviously. We get Mr. 9, and we get Miss Wednesday, so these are very interesting characters so far. I thought their appearances was really cool, and I thought it was really cool to see. We got some bounty hunters that are coming after them, and they kind of settle in at first, Zoro and Luffy and all the rest of them, and Zoro kind of knows something's wrong with these bounty hunters. He knows that there's something not right with them, something fishy going on. Same with Nami, so they kind of pick up on it. Zoro ends up fighting these guys, and he ends up taking these guys down, which was pretty badass from him. I really liked that, and I thought that was pretty intense. But Luffy doesn't necessarily understand what's going on, so he ends up kind of getting pissed off that Zoro's kind of ruining all this shit, and then them two actually end up going toe-to-toe, which I thought was pretty insane. So, we get a fight between Luffy and Zoro, which I didn't expect to happen, but that was a pretty intense sequence there. Nami has to kind of break everything up, and, well, this is when we get introduced to Mr. 5, we get introduced to Miss Valentine, who I also thought were really great characters in this, pretty good, for kind of, added drama in this season. I thought they were both, I like their appearances. I think they look pretty cool, especially Mr. 5. Mr. 5 looks really, really cool. And then we also meet VIVI. So, VIVI is probably one of my new favorite additions to this season. VIVI was really good. Now, we find out that Brokeworks, through VIVI, basically Brokeworks ended up kind of making a kind of rebellion in her country, so she ends up kind of, revealing that to them, and they end up finding the truth about this whole place, and not before we have kind of a massive reveal that Mr. Zero's true identity is Mr. Crocodile. So that's like a big reveal that we get in this season. I thought that was pretty insane. I certainly didn't expect that to happen either, but I thought it was pretty darn good. Now, we get a bunch of people that basically, notice that they're finding out about this. They're finding out the truth. They don't want them to know, so they end up making them, like, wanted, basically. So Luffy and the group group are like the most wanted people like ever in this area. So they basically end up kind of, you know, setting sail. And then we see kind of them try to run out of there, essentially. Now, we get an episode where this character named Miss Sunday, Miss All Sunday, appears basically on their boat and kind of almost like, you know, warns them, if you will, and then she ends up kind of going off. So I thought that was pretty intense as well, too. I thought that was a pretty intense portion. So around this point in the season, I felt like things really started heating up. You got some really big reveals. I thought it was all really, really good. They get to Little Garden, which was one of my favorite places, and we're here for the majority of this season. We get basically these giants that basically show up. You got like these animals that like scare Luffy and stuff like that, which I thought was kind of funny. And then you get Groggy, and you get Dory. So Dory and Groggy. So they're basically the two giants that, you know, we kind of meet. They kind of have some interactions. Nami and, you know, Usopp kind of interact with one, and then Luffy kind of interacts with another one with Vivi and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then you get the two giants, obviously, and, you know, they end up fighting each other, essentially, and then Luffy and them are kind of caught in the middle of all this stuff. They end up basically trying to flee and kind of get out of there. And then you get the massive confrontations of the season. Mr. 5 catches up with them, captures Vivi, which I thought was really intense. Mr. 3 ends up taking down Usopp, which that was a pretty intense sequence as well there as well. And then there's this massive, like, fight that kind of ensues. And this goes on for multiple episodes, and I thought this was pretty darn intense, honestly. I quite liked it. I thought Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine and Mr. 3 were all really good, you know, kind of villains for what they were. I thought they were all really good. I thought they kind of, you know, made it quite intense in Little Garden there for a good while, and I liked a lot of what they did there. Now, I love the part where Luffy ends up later on kind of like burning some of these guys, and you see like Luffy like covered, and he's just like all red and shit like that. I thought that was pretty badass from him as well, too. So I like that. That was all really good as well. And Mr. 3 and Valentine and Mr. 5, they end up, you know, going down, obviously, in the end. But I thought it was pretty cool to kind of see that happen. Now, Sanji ends up kind of doing something that I didn't really expect him to do. And it's kind of one of the later parts of the season that we kind of get a minor setup for, where Sanji ends up communicating with Mr. Zero, or, you know, obviously Mr. Crocodile, and then he ends up kind of playing him and acting like as if he's Mr. 3, which was kind of cool, and he kind of gets some information. He's going to be sending Mr. 2 out, basically, from what we're hearing, and it sounds like this is very far from over. Luffy and them have absolutely screwed themselves over big time with these guys, it seems like, and it sounds like it's going to get even worse for them, but Sanji kind of plays that middleman, which I think is kind of cool, and I got to give Sanji that. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought he kind of came through there in a sense, because he's kind of acting like someone that he isn't. So I thought that was pretty badass, and I did like that a lot. Now, you get the two giants, of course, Groggy and Dory. They end up kind of helping our crew out near the end of this season. They end up taking down like a massive goldfish near the end of the season as well, which I thought that scene was really cool. They kind of end up paying their respects to Luffy and them, and kind of end up helping them out in the end, which I thought was kind of cool. And they end up kind of, you know, joining alliances, but also helping them kind of escape and taking down that goldfish, which I thought was kind of cool as well. And that's kind of where they set sail, and that's where season 2 kind of ends up right there. So, I thought season 2 way shorter than season 1. I think, let me see, how many episodes were there this season? There was 16 episodes. Yeah, so that's why this is a pretty quick, you know, kind of review. They're quick episodes. They're quick to the point. There was filler in some of this. I will say early on there was a little bit of dragginess. There were definitely some episodes I had some lower ratings for here and there. But the majority of the season, I was enjoying myself. And I think the majority, especially the stuff in Little Garden, I think is definitely my favorite element. I like Vivi a lot. She was a massive standout for me this season. Mr. 5, Mr. 3, Valentine, they were all really good for what they were. They were intimidating, and they definitely had a, you know, certain element of charisma to them. I thought they were really good. The Giants, I thought were really, really good. I thought they were cool additions to this season. So I like them as well, too. Sanji, for what he had, I thought was really good. Luffy was a badass as usual. Zoro was oddly a standout, especially him fighting off the bounty hunters and stuff like that. I thought that stuff was really good as well. Nami, still being Nami, still had a lot of, you know, kind of tough but, you know, sneaky moves and sneaky moments that I thought were really good. They definitely added less new characters to the cast this season, which makes sense because season 1, they were adding. You know what I mean? This season, we mostly kept our cast, but we did have a couple additions there. there, but it was mostly the same. So overall, I would say this season, it's a slight step down from 1 for me. I'm going to give it an 8.5. I thought it was a really damn good season still. I enjoyed myself with it. I thought it was good. I thought it was enjoyable, and I thought it was pretty solid for what it was. I think it was really good. Take out some filler, and you could have gotten me at like a 9, maybe 9.5, honestly. You would have gotten me a little bit higher, but I'll go 8.5 because I did think this season did slow down at times, but that wasn't necessarily a bad thing. I feel like in anime sometimes there's minor times where I'm like, okay, do we really need some of these little storylines that don't really amount to anything, you know? That's my only real big nitpick with this season, but aside from that, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. So let me know your thoughts. What did you think of One Piece Season 2, the anime? We'll be back with Season 3 coming up here probably next week or so, something like that. But let me know, what you think of Season 2? And yeah, I know, we're going to be on this for a while, folks. There's a lot of seasons, and we're going to power through. We're going to get through this entire series. For those that were asking me, Dan, you're going to review the entire series? Is that your plan? Yes, that's my plan, is to one day get caught up on One Piece. I know that's going to be probably years away, but we're going to do it. And it's cool, too, because it's going to be a consistent show that we always review on the channel, at least, you know, quite consistently probably review it. So it's going to be fun. It's definitely a fun ride, and I'm all down for it. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Season 2. I will catch you all next week for Season 3. If you guys are new to the channel, you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click subscribe so you don't miss any of the videos. Make sure to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos for One Piece. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. Dan's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist beat. World gone mad, TV junkies hit a treat. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a street fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shed a TV light.